Does that mean they can hear us at TV?
They can always.
Good evening.
I see all day. That's a good day, isn't it?
Were you busy today?
Can't even get to the parking problems. Larry keeps calling me, we gotta hurry up.
It's been,
30 squads in town the last 2 days.
yeah, it's been busy.
We had armed robbery suspect today. We got a kid by the time. Hey, that's public information. It's not in the news, I mean.
Busy.
He's been arrested 3 times. Huh? Ours is just- Very busy.
Yearly cry.
Yeah, you're right. They got a curl, don't they? Is that a clock on?
SOPs,
Yeah.
right? SOPs.
Fix that.
Yeah. Maybe next week.
Yeah. In 2 weeks, yeah, so it's the
Okay, good evening. I will call to order Chisholm City Council meeting January 10th, 2024 at 5:30 p.m. Susan, would you please take roll call?
Counselor Halverson.
Present.
Counselor Michelaraha.
present.
Counselor Fountain. Absent. Counselor Halava.
Present.
Counselor Baki.
Here.
Mayor Lane.
Here. All right, council, I would look for a motion to adopt the agenda. We did see the addition of some information from Precious Paws that wasn't here earlier. And that is the only thing to go along with the packet.
Motion to approve the agenda.
Thank you, Travis.
Support.
Thank you, Jed. Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Pledge of allegiance, please. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, is there any public participation?
No.
No, okay. We will start off with council reports. Start with Councilor Holliva. Good evening.
Good evening. Not much to report tonight. I just want to say thank you guys for the first year on the council. I learned a lot and look forward to working with all of you the next 3 more years.
Thank you. Councilor Michelaraha.
Good evening. No report. We're continuing the search for the HRA director. That's been ongoing. That's really all I got.
Councilor Baki. Good evening.
Good evening. Happy New Year, everybody. Just one thing that I wanted to publicly acknowledge, and that was we have a new all-time leading scorer for the women's basketball program in Chisholm. I think that's a pretty historic moment, so it's due for a public congratulations to Tressa Baumgard, who set that record on January 4th. That's all I have.
40 years?
Thank you.
40 years. Yes,
Oh.
40-year record. Yeah.
Congratulations, Tressa. Councilor Halverson. Good evening.
Good evening. The only thing to report is I attended the park board meeting last night.
All right. I have no formal report. I will say that we don't have a microphone at the stand, so Marty, if you could, when they come up, you just put your microphone up there, and anyone coming up to the stand to talk, please wait until you get to the podium before speaking, and we'll carry on. City Ambulance Director, Tiff, good evening.
Good evening. No official report.
Okay. Fire Chief, Chris, good evening.
Good evening. I only have one thing for you guys tonight, and that's our run report for 2023. So the fourth quarter of last year, we had 45 calls. Had 175 calls for the whole year. So it's been about the 4-year average for us. 49 mutual aid calls. 44 of those were to Hibbing, 1 to French, 2 to Kinney Great Scott, and 2 to Evergreen. And then for our service area, we had 12 calls to Balkan and 7 calls to the unorganized township that we cover. For a grand total of 175. It's been a busy year, so as you would know.
Even with a couple slow months, so.
Yeah, you're right. We had 2 months where we only had 5 or 6 calls, which was nice to have. That could have been more. But
Thank
that
you,
is
Chief.
all I have.
Thank you.
Yep.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Police Chief, Vern, how you doing? Man after my own heart.
Your Highness, Steve Council, I'm doing well. I can follow directions. Just a quick update. As you'll see in your packets, we do have 2 resignations, full-time officers resigning, which brings us to 4 openings at the police department. We do have interviews this Friday to fill some of those slots, but and we're kind of in a unique situation. One of the officers that's leaving us requested to stay on part-time, and we haven't had part-time since 2011. So, and part-time's a kind of a tricky situation, and at first I was like, I don't know, but given the fact that we have another officer leaving, and it's not so much the overtime I'm worried about, it is a burnout when we're so shorthanded. So the commission talked it over, a few meetings, and we decided to keep Mr. Bergstad on part-time. He lives just north of town, so on his days off from his other job, he will pick up shifts as needed. And it's a win-win kind of because he's already trained in our ways. It's not that we have to spend so much time to train him. He will, he's already knows how we do everything, so we're gonna keep him on and do his trial run, see how it works. But so you'll see that in the minutes coming up from the next meeting, just so you know what's going on there.
Good.
So, do you have any questions?
I got one question, Vern. So is it worth in a future working session to bring up like the speed zone in front of the new public safety building? Is something we want to talk about? Because the 50-mile-an-hour zone kind of starts right where the building is, so if we want to extend that 30-mile-an-hour zone somewhere in there, I don't know, just thinking about that.
Yeah, I defer, I defer to Jim being the traffic engineer, that's a county state aid road, and there's some things that we'll have to talk to Jim about on that.
So we need to go through the county.
The county, okay.
They have jurisdiction.
I think in most communities where they also have the, the big triangle sign with the fire truck on there, the blinking lights, whenever you're kind of moving, would that be with the county also?
To put them out, yeah.
All right.
Okay.
Not a bad idea, though.
Yeah.
If, like, if doors opening and we had some kind of signaling would be kind of smart.
Mhm.
So.
Right.
If there's an ambulance or fire call.
Right, right. But, and it's nice, we also have accidents on 169 you can see for miles, but, we have nicer visibility now, so hopefully that does reduce, but,
Okay.
so.
Okay. Good call, Jim. Thank you, Chief. Building official, zoning administrator. Thank you, Mandy. City engineer, Jim, good
I
evening.
have no report other than if you have questions for me, other than what I have on the agenda.
Okay. Any questions for Jim?
Thank you.
Public Works Supervisor, Larry, good evening.
Evening, Mayor, Council. It's hard.
Right, I know.
Thank you for the instruction, though.
Just a reminder is what.
Right, absolutely. So just a couple updates. We are working through that water and the fuel system. I got a really good lead today from our representative at Minnesota Pollution Control Agency, so we're really getting somewhere. So I appreciate your patience with that and all the department heads and ambulances, fire trucks and stuff like that. So, and then our friends over at the Senex that helped us out immensely with that. So it's going really well there. A little bit of good news on that respect that the fuel is burnable, so it doesn't have to go to waste. So it doesn't have to go to, say, a power plant to get burned off at, for a fee, and we'll actually be able to burn it. So we got a couple independent reports. So we just have to clean it, and then we'll be able to burn it. So that's good. We'll be able to use that and get it up. So, and then we'll clean our tanks, and we'll probably be on the road for a little break on that, and we'll plan for some, investment and update in the future. So, but this will buy us a little time. And then now that it finally snowed, and say your plow operators' mental health are coming back in to check where they need to be because they want to plow, they do plow, and they want to make the city look nice and get everything cleaned up. But I just want to give a little, for some folks that may not really know or they're not really sure, if you were to compare Chisholm to Hibbing, we don't have separate crews that just plow like Hibbing does. Your water distribution lead, which is your fire hydrants and all the work around the city and the water, he runs a grader, right? And then your sewer lead, which makes sure all the sewer is flowing in the whole city, he runs a sand truck and a plow truck. And your garbage truck operators that are out at 4 in the morning, they come out at 2:30 in the morning or 2, and they do sidewalks. So when the plows come by, the sidewalks are somewhat done on Lake Street. And your cemetery guy runs alleys and cleans up parking lots, city hall, library, campground, arena, things like that. And then we have 4 public works employees that's what they do. That's their job. They're the plow guys the second day and stuff and clean up. And so it's a mixed bag of employees. So if you were to have an expectation of service, you would have to see the whole picture to understand how it works in Chisholm. And we just don't have people on standby. We don't have 2 crews that plow. If it was snowing tonight and it was done around 10, 11 o'clock, we wouldn't call employees in tonight. We would call them in early in the morning so then they could still do their day job after they plow it. So it's somewhat unique for Chisholm. We're kind of right on the edge of that where we don't have a bigger crew, but it's sustainable and it works for Chisholm. But so just a realistic expectation that we don't have several crews and dedicated employees to do just those jobs. So
Absolutely.
maybe that's helpful. I don't.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
So anything for me, let me know. Otherwise, that's it. Thank you.
Thanks, Larry.
Thank you. City Parks Trails Rec Director Bridget. Good evening.
Good evening. No report.
Okay, thank you. City Library Supervisor Katie. Good evening.
Good evening, everyone. Couple quick things from the library. We've got our winter reading program that is right around the corner. The theme this year is a reading wonderland, and that's going to be running the full month of February from the 1st to the 29th, and it's open to all ages, so kids, teens, and adults. So we're looking forward to that. And then, in addition to that, we're going to be doing something new this year, and we're going to be partnering with AARP, and we're going to be an actual tax prep site. And we're going to be starting that it's going to run from February 8th to April 11th. So on Thursdays from 9:30 to 2 p.m. we'll actually have volunteers at the library where people can sign up for slots. And then those volunteers will help people actually file their taxes. So we're looking forward to that. I think it's been a good partnership so far to work with. And yeah, we're looking forward to see what the response is with kind of something new. And I think that's it.
Excellent. Thank you.
All right.
Thank you. City Clerk Treasurer Eileen. Good evening.
Good evening, Council. Nice to see everyone. So just a couple of things. I wanted to share some information that I haven't shared with Council before, but I think it's important in my efforts to be transparent with as my role as the fiduciary agent. I always pronounce that incorrectly. But what happens at year end in the month of January is there's various state and county compliance reporting that transpires every year, including the publication of the summary budget statement, which you saw in today's paper edition, if you didn't notice that. Certification of truth in taxation, the report of outstanding indebtedness, the property tax levy report, the summary budget report, local government lobbying form, and the solid waste annual report. These are the reports that I complete and submit to various agencies online. And each report or form requires quite a bit of data analysis and calculation. But it helps us to review our current internal controls, right, that we have in the accounting finance department. And everything is calculated and compares consistently to the data that we have recorded in our system. So I just wanted you to know that we're in full compliance. We do that every year, and I wanted to share that with council. Elections is going to be ramping up in the next few weeks. Christy and I are going to be meeting on Friday to talk about the presidential nomination primary that happens on March 5th. We're in the process of getting the election judges placed and the training to be scheduled, so it's going to be ramping up very soon. In regard to the fund, the general fund and the permanent improvement fund, I actually just met with Stephanie today and we did a preliminary review of historical as well as 2023 activity. We just wanted to take a look at where we've been, right, how we've performed, and what we're looking at, how we're looking at thus far in for 2023. Very preliminary numbers because we haven't completed the bank reconciliation for December. I will be doing a presentation of fourth quarter financials in the first meeting in February. So just wanted you to know what's happening in the finance accounting department. Thank you.
Thank you, Eileen.
Thank you. Thank you.
City Administrator, Steph, good evening.
Good evening, Mayor and the Council. I do not have a formal report tonight. Do you have any questions for me?
I do not. Good evening, Brian.
Good evening, Mayor. Sorry I'm late.
Any report?
No report, Mayor.
Council, moving on to consent agenda, which is your list of bills, communications. You do have a new communication, which includes the second officer who had retired. So your minutes from previous city council meetings, December 13th, 2023, December 20th, 2023, special meeting minutes, January 2nd, 2024, reorganizational meeting minutes, payroll and overtime. I would look for a motion to approve the consent agenda.
I'll make the motion.
Thank you, Jed.
For it.
Thank you, Travis. Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. No unfinished business. Move on to new business. Vern, Chief Manor. Good evening. Welcome back.
Good evening again. Someone left their thing up here. Oh, there you go. As you can see, we're looking at resolution for a premise permit for Klein Theater. This is a little bit different than a normal LG 220 that we do for gambling permits. This is a actual premise permit for pull tabs and electronic gambling through the Klein Theater for Valentini's, and it needs a resolution for that from the council. I was, when I wrote up the memo to the council, I was a little bit concerned with Inver Grove Heights being where Klein Theater is out of. And then I got a call from Greg Violet, who's the gambling manager, and he lives in Hibbing, and he runs the whole for them up here. Because I was worried about the trade area, do they know about our ordinance? And he's very well versed in our area. And just a little information on the Klein Theater. They're a group that puts on a lot of those educational theater acts for the high schools, and last year they teamed up with the Arrowhead Library System. I'm not sure if Katie's aware of it, but I'm sure they've done events at our library as well. So they do give back to this area in our trade service area. So we're just looking for approval of that resolution so they can have a premise permit for those electronic gambling.
Okay. Council, I'd look for a motion and approval for 0124-8.
I'll make the motion.
Thank you, Cheyenne.
Second.
Thank you, Marty. Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you.
Chief? Okay, moving on. City Engineer, Jim.
Good evening, Mayor and members of the council. If I can have you turn to page 20, we'll do a quick review of where the numbers are coming from. And since I couldn't read my own numbers at the last meeting, I wrote them in so you would have them in advance of the meeting. And so, per Vern's criticism, I'll keep my presentation a little bit shorter. Anyway, column G, which is the work completed to date. And if you add up all the numbers down to where I have the line, this is for calculating the fee for A and P. Down to that line, as you see, total is $591,217.89, and they get 1 3/4% of that, which amounts to that $10,346.31, which is identical to that number that the arrow goes down to. So you see the total work completed for the month of December is just over $600,000. And if you go over 2 more columns, this is how we are calculating the retainage for the project at 5%. And all of those numbers that I've got within the brackets, which amount to the labor and the material items that are a basis of that retainage, you'll see total $5,154,910.70. And when you apply the 5% that you'll see on the next page then, or on the previous page, which is the total retainage to date, is at $257,745.54. But also note that total at the bottom of that column, which is the total work completed to date or materials on site, which is the $6,375,201.34. And that number represents about 57% of the total contract. And from what we learned yesterday and at previous status meetings, they think they're going to come in under budget. They don't think they'll be anywhere close to the 5% contingency that's included. So we may be very close to 60%. And I think they were indicating that they're still on schedule for occupancy very early part of June, about June 4th, I believe. Then if you would please turn back to the previous page, page 19. Going through that left-hand side of the sheet, the total, or the original contract amount that you see is $11,199,947. Then you see that total work completed to date that we just reviewed of $6.375 million. Then the next items that you see are that 5% retainage that we reviewed, totaling $257,745.54. So the total earned to date, less that retainage, is the $6,117,455.80. Next line of $5,540,302.50 is what has been paid previously, such that the amount due with this payment is that $577,153.30. And I would be happy to answer any questions, but I would recommend approval of this pay application number 10. Thank you.
Very good, Jim. Thank you. Hey, Counselor, if there's not any questions, I would look for a motion to approve pay application number 10 and the amount of $577,153.30.
Make the motion.
Thank you, Jed.
Support.
Thank you, Cheyenne. Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you, Jim.
Thanks, Jim.
Larry, good evening.
All right. So I bring you to Chisholm, hopefully with your support and approval of resolution number 0124-9 to hire Paul Keekley to the new Public Works Heavy Equipment Truck Driver utility position. So, yep, he lives in the with our friends to the east a little bit in Viol, and looking forward to coming to Chisholm.
Excellent. Can I ask how many applications you had for this?
19, 23?
Oh,
23.
Wow.
Yeah, very good, very, and good applicants. We had the 6 top applicants. We had, maybe it was 23 total. 17 that met the minimum qualifications. 6 that we interviewed for the position. All experienced and wanting to come to Chisholm, and so very good to see. So
excellent.
very good experience.
Good.
Yeah. So Paul will come to you as 40 years, 30 plus years of experience. Been doing it since he's been a kid, and it's what he does, and he's done his whole life, and he's coming here now. So
Excellent.
with your support, of course.
Right. Well, council, I would look for a motion and support for resolution 0124-9.
I'll make that motion.
Thank you, Travis.
Support.
Thank you, Cheyenne. Any further discussion? All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you.
Congratulations, Paul. Okay, Bridget, evening.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. There's the microphone. I have 3 requests tonight. The first one on page 23 is looking for approval to submit a grant application to the IRRR for the Culture and Tourism Grant for $30,000 for Memorial Park.
Excellent. Council, I look for a motion and support of resolution 0124-10.
Make a motion.
Thank you, Marty.
Support.
Thank you, Cheyenne. Any further discussion? Good work. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
And then I'm asking for acceptance of grant funds from the Trails Task Force in the amount of $10,000 to go toward that Free Wheelers Learn to Ride program that we're working on getting going.
Excellent. All right, Council, I'll look for a motion and support of resolution 0124-11.
I'll make the motion.
Thank you, Jed.
Support.
Thank you, Travis. Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
And then on page 27, I'm looking for approval of an updated job description, posting and hiring for CSRP, Chisholm Summer Rec Program coordinators, up to 2 positions. The changes from 2022 or 2023's job description is that the salary range increased from 15 to 17 as a scale to 1550 to 1750 as a scale, and then I added just some basic language changes and some was it minimum? It wasn't minimum requirements. Or maybe it was minimum qualifications of some abilities to communicate and to write. We'd like to get more communication going from the program to parents in the coming years. So that is a skill set that I'm looking for in this position.
Okay. Council, I would look for a motion and support for approval of the job description, posting and hiring for CSRP coordinator.
I'll make that motion.
Thank you, Travis.
Support.
Thank you, Cheyenne. Any further discussion?
I just quick question. Who is your schedule? Who's your hiring committee?
The hiring committee in the past, it has been Stephanie and myself.
Oh, okay.
For the coordinators, and then when it comes to the specialists, then we include the coordinators on the specialists.
Okay.
Yeah.
Very good.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you, Bridget.
Thank you.
Okay, City Administrator Stephanie.
Good evening. We have the Precious Pause contract. I was notified by Joe Keys today that he was unable to be at the meeting tonight. He did provide the Precious Pause report to you, and he also said if you did have additional questions, he's willing to come back at our next meeting and have a formal presentation if you request that. So we do have that provided to you on your table. So we're updating our current contract with Precious Paws. There's minimal changes. I don't know if Chief Manor has any. Police Department is who will be the one that works directly with Precious Paws with this contract. If you have anything to add. You're good? Your relationship is good.
All right, council. I mean, obviously, this is a great asset to have inside the community. So I would look for motion and support of the approval of this contract.
Make the motion.
Thank you, Cheyenne.
Support.
Thank you, Travis. Any further discussion?
I just got one question. So I know we were talking before about these pregnant cats, they're getting C-sections at the vet, or are they having them naturally at the shelter?
I think they just allow it as kittens born.
Okay.
I don't know. I'd have to ask
So, okay.
them directly for that.
Well, looks like it was. Looks like they were down last year.
Right, so.
Anything else? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Hey, council, first thing under myself, a donation request from the Chisholm Community Foundation. Instead of doing any type of advertising, they would like that we just donate to the CCF golf outing. The amount of $1,000. And I believe this will be able to come out of our.
So this is the. Can we mind it?
Oh, yeah, go on, please.
So, so this is the
There we go.
annual corporate sponsorship. So what this does is it's an annual donation that we budget for. I believe we budget for it, and it puts your logo on the big sign, and you get advertising at all of the events. The golf scramble would be separate.
Okay.
And this can't come out of the gambling.
Okay. Perfect. Thank you for that clarification, Travis. All right, council, I would look for a motion and support.
Make the motion.
Thank you, Cheyenne.
Support.
Thank you, Jed. Any further discussion? All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. All right. Next, resolution 0124-12, ratifying council boards and commissions. On page 38, you'll see what we had last year. I have heard from a couple councilors that would like to stay where they were. I myself would also like to stay where I was. Councilor Fountain's not here this evening. She did reach out to me and say that if it's all right with the council, she would like to keep representing the boards that she is on. I'm not sure if there's anybody on here that would like to switch around or change up. I know that there's a few where, the Economic Development Authority is the first Wednesday of the month at 8:30 in the morning. Board of Appeals, I believe Councilor Halverson and Councilor Fountain are still good on that for your accreditation. Charitable Gambling, Councilor Baki, would you like to stay on there?
I don't do anything.
Yeah?
Sure.
So yes.
We meet sometimes.
Housing and Redevelopment Authority, Councilor Nicolaraha, you would like to stay on that board? See that through? Library Board, I know April would like to stay there. Planning and Zoning, I would also like to stay under that board. Police Commission, Councilor Nicolaraha, imagine you would like to see that through. Public Utilities Commission, Councilor Oliva, I would hope you would stay on that board, especially being on with the Central Iron Range Sanitary Sewer District Board. Rec Board, Councilor Halverson, I'm assuming you, absolutely. Volunteer Fire Department, unless anybody else would like to give up their Wednesday nights, I'm there anyways, so it's very convenient. Campground Committee, Councilors Fountain and Halverson, I imagine you want to stay?
Yep.
And then the other organizations beyond the yellow ribbon, myself, Chamber of Commerce, Councilor Vaki, Youth Center, Councilor Nicolaraha, Community Ed, Councilor Fountain, Iron Range Youth in Action, myself, Museum of Mining, Councilor Nicolaraha, Safety Committee, Councilor Holova, Precious Paws, Councilor Nicolaraha. So that being said, if there's anybody that would like to switch anything up or move around, if not, I would look for a motion to approve Resolution 0124-12, keeping the commission and boards where they are.
Make the motion.
Thank you, Cheyenne.
Support.
Thank you, Jed. Is there any further discussion?
Yes, Mr. Mayor?
Yep.
Well, this came up when we were meeting and discussing the HRA, and it's, I guess, more directed to Attorney Lindsay on proper procedure for appointing to independent entities, like the HRA, which I believe is completely independent of the city. And I think the EDA is more or less independent of the city from a structural standpoint. And, I mean, shouldn't we be having applicants advertising for openings, taking applications, which can be council members, to approve to independent agencies, rather than direct appointments, which kind of precludes anybody else from applying?
So, Mayor, if I may?
Please.
Yep. So the manner in which the appointments are made here is appropriate, and it really can be handled either way. And it's really a policy decision within the council whether the council wants to have council reps included as in the membership of those entities. In the case of the EDA and the HRA, I think it makes some good sense given the fact that while the EDA and HRA are separate entities, separated from the council, it does give a connection between the city and each organization, and it gives the ability, as we've seen over the last year, it gives the ability for a council rep to be reporting back and have their finger on the pulse of what's happening in each of those organizations to report back. So the technical legal answer to the question is there's nothing inappropriate about appointing council members. It's really a policy decision by the council to fill a seat or two with members of the council. Does that answer the question?
Yes, thank you.
Yep. Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Next up, Resolution 0124-13, reappointment of our city administrator. I would like to start, I believe this is a no-brainer. I believe that the city of Chisholm is completely fortunate, having hired Ms. Scraba twice through 4 different hiring committees. So it's just, it's a pleasure having you here. Your staff and your team is a direct reflection of your leadership, and I'm definitely proud to be sitting next to you. So, council, I would look for a motion in support of Resolution 0124-13.
Make that motion.
Thank you, Cheyenne.
Second.
Thank you, Marty. Any further discussion?
Great job.
Absolutely. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Congratulations, Chisholm. All right.
And congratulations.
I usually congratulate everybody else and welcome them to town, but we're very fortunate. So, Resolution 0124-14, reappointment of the building zoning safety official, Mandy Galley. Again, I believe Mandy does a great job for us. Your communication with us and what you do to help walk the public through different instances and the knocks on your door that you tolerate. So thank you very much. Council, I would look for a motion to approve Resolution 0124-14.
I'll make a motion.
Thank you, Jed.
Support.
Thank you, Cheyenne. Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Next up, Resolution 0124-15, reappointment of Trenty Law Firm. You will not get as many accolades, the attorney.
That's fair.
We do appreciate your direction and wisdom, Brian. So I would definitely look for a motion support for 0124-15.
Make the motion.
Thank you, Cheyenne.
Support.
Thank you, Travis. Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Next up, Resolution 0124-16, reappointment of Fire Chief Chris Masucci. Again, Chris, thank you for everything that you do for us, your leadership, and your bonding that you keep in. So, thank you for everything you do for the committee and all those around us. Council, I would look for a motion in support of 0124-16.
I'll make that motion.
Thank you, Travis.
Support.
Thank you, Jed. Any further discussion? All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. All right, now to some of the fun stuff. And wow, community has come through. We have a lot of applicants here. I made a lot of phone calls over the past week. Want to talk to a lot of people because obviously there's not room for everybody on all these boards, but everyone that did apply, I would just like to say thank you and applaud you, and thanks for coming. For many people stepping out of your comfort zone and willing to step up and help out the city. Starting with the Planning and Zoning Commission, there were 4 applicants. I would like to start with recommending that we put up Whitney Ridlon. I can see by the applications, Whitney has a very extensive history with planning and zoning, and she fits this committee, this mold to a T. So I would hope to get motion and support to appoint Whitney Ridlon to the Planning and Zoning Commission.
I'll make the motion.
Thank you, Cheyenne.
Support.
Thank you, Jed. Any further discussion? All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Secondly, I would hope we can get motion and support for Stephanie Holliva. Again, someone else coming up and being active inside the community and stepping up, not only serving on the fire department, police commission, but now coming out to the planning and zoning. I did talk to the other 2 applicants. Both of them have an extensive history on the boards. They've done their time, to say the least. But I believe it's time, if we don't give another person a shot, they stop applying. So I just believe that we need to carry on with getting more people involved that haven't been there yet. So I would look for a motion in support of Stephanie Holliva to the Planning Commission.
I'll make the motion.
Thank you, Cheyenne.
Support.
Thank you, Travis. I imagine you're going to abstain.
We'll have to
Yeah.
say that.
Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Next up, appointment to the Public Utilities Commission. This one's a little bit easier. They have 2 open seats for 2-year terms. We'll start with motion of support for William Krebs, who I know he said he's nearing his end of these, committees, but again, he's got an extensive history. He's been there, he knows a lot, and willing to step up again to, carry on with this board.
Make the motion.
Thank you, Jed.
Support.
Thank you, Cheyenne. Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Next up, former Mayor John Champa, again, for a 2-year term on the Public Utilities Commission. And I'd just like to thank John for coming up onto the PUC board. And, I think this goes hand in hand with him being on the Central Iron Range Sanitary Sewer District and helping out the community. So I'd look for a motion to appoint John Champa to the Public Utilities Commission.
I'll make the motion.
Thank you, Marty.
Support.
Thank you, Travis. Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Parks, Trails, Rec Advisory Board, 2 open seats, 2-year terms. We'll start with Shelley Valentini, who is currently on the board. Again, thank you, Shelley, for everything you do for the community, and especially with the Parks Department. Glad to have you back. So I'd look for a motion to reappoint Shelley Valentini to the Parks Board.
Make the motion.
Thank you, Marty.
Support.
Thank you, Jed. Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Next applicant, Jen Gigliotti, I can't think of somebody more suited for this role as a Parks Board. So thank you, Jen. Thank you, Shelley, for pushing Jen. She's very excited to be on this board, and thanks again for all you do in the community. So I would look for a motion and support to appoint Jen Gigliotti to the Parks Trails Rec Advisory Board.
I'll make the motion.
Thank you, Cheyenne.
Support.
Thank you, Travis. Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Moving on to the Police Commission Board, one seat open for a 2-year term. Sarafia Gravel is our lone applicant. So again, Sarafia, thank you very much for coming out of your comfort zone and coming in here and serving on our board. And I would hope that we can have a motion and support to reappoint Sarafia Gravel.
Make the motion.
Thank you, Cheyenne.
Second.
Thank you, Marty. Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Appointment to the Library Board, one open seat for 2 years and one applicant, Brittany Grind Larson. That was the one applicant that I couldn't get a hold of. I believe she is new to this board. She would be new to this board. So again, citizens coming out and stepping up and getting their toes wet. So thank you, Brittany. I would look for a motion and support to appoint Brittany to the Library Board.
Make the motion.
Thank you, Cheyenne.
Support.
Thank you, Jed. Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Last, appointment to the EDA Board. We have one open seat for a 6-year term, and we have 2 applicants. I did speak with both the applicants, and I would really hope that we could get a motion of support to place Amanda Pila onto the EDA Board. She works in town here at the bank. She's very involved with the local nonprofits and just businesses in general. So I believe that she would be a great addition to this board.
I'll make a motion.
Thank you, Jed.
Support.
Thank you, Cheyenne. Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Okay. Again, I would just like to thank everyone who did apply to these boards, and if you did not get appointed to a board that you applied for, please don't let it hold you back in the future. And thank you very much for your interest. Hi, Council. Any miscellaneous topics for the next agenda, or anything to bring up now? If not, I would look for a motion to adjourn.
Make a motion to adjourn.
Thank you, Jed.
Support.
Thank you, Cheyenne. Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you.